Greetings, Rocky Run families. My name is Nick Roman, and I'm the principal here at Rocky Run Elementary. I'd like to welcome you today to our town hall meeting, where I will be providing a brief overview of the reopening of this year's school year for our Bulldogs, as well as responding to and answering some of the specific questions that you have submitted to us in the past few days and weeks. Before we get to the questions, I'd like to offer a little bit of general information in the event that you have not been able to keep up with our school board meetings and decisions, emails from myself, or emails from Dr. Kisner from the division level. I wanted to share with you some things that we know to be true as far as our reopening. This year, due to COVID-19, we'll be opening in an all virtual setting. This is going to be a very new experience for all of us, for our students, for our staff, and of course for us as parents. For all elementary students, we are beginning an all virtual experience, and we will be using the online platform Canvas to deliver our instruction to our students. Students will be separated into two different groups, A group and a B group, based on alphabetical last name. You know that your child is an A child or a B child because you can find that information in Parent View. Parent View is also the platform that you can use to not only get your child's grades, but how you will find out your child's teacher beginning next week. I will share more information on that in a few slides. A students or B students, each group of students will have 2 days a week of synchronous with my teacher learning. That means your child will be on their device on synchronous days, and they will have their teacher on the other end of that device teaching a small group of students electronically, virtually. And those synchronous days will be from 9 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. On the 3 days a week that your child is not receiving synchronous learning experiences with their teacher, they will have the opportunity to receive asynchronous or on my own learning opportunities, also through digital means and using our Canvas platform. The difference is in the asynchronous time is that you will decide what time of day your child will be able to access that content, the videos, and then complete the assignments. I will be sharing a little bit more about scheduling here in the next few slides as well. But going back to Schedule A, students on a Schedule A will receive their synchronous or with my teacher learning opportunities on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And students on the Schedule B, or B students, will be receiving their synchronous learning from their teacher on Thursdays and Fridays, with Monday being an asynchronous day for all students. The only exception to this will be the first week of school, week 1, the week of August 31st. During that week, all A students will receive their with my teacher learning on Monday and Tuesday, and B students will receive with my teacher learning on Wednesday and Thursday, with Friday, September 4th, being no school for students or staff due to the Labor Day weekend. In the event that we return to school in a hybrid situation, that means that those A students, instead of receiving their synchronous learning remotely, they would be invited to come to school on those same 2 days a week, Tuesday and Wednesday. The same goes for Schedule B students. When and if we go to a hybrid situation where we are inviting students back into the building, those B students will come back into the building on Thursday and Friday to receive their face-to-face synchronous learning. At this time, there are no definite plans to reopen for the hybrid, So any date that would be set forth by our superintendent, Dr. Kisner, and our school board would be forthcoming. So for now, we know that we are on a virtual schedule for all students, with synchronous days happening 2 days a week and asynchronous opportunities happening 3 days a week. As we move into the questions, I'd like to provide answers to. I want to thank all of our families who submitted the questions. Every question is a great question, and I'm going to do my very best to provide as much clarity to the questions as I possibly can. Our questions we were able to narrow down into about almost 30 separate specific questions, and we've actually categorized them by topic. And those topics include Chromebooks, virtual learning, specials, special education, 504 and focus services, orientation, and a few miscellaneous questions. So, in order of those topics, I'll begin with Chromebooks. When and how will I get a Chromebook, and are they for families to keep? The answer to that is each Stafford County public school child will receive a Stafford County issued device, Chromebook, for this coming school year. At Rocky Run, our distributions of Chromebooks will happen next week, the week of the August 24th, and they will happen each day with a specified group invited each day to come pick up their Chromebook and device and materials. I will later in this presentation, I will be offering more specifics on those specific dates and times for pickup. And are they for families to keep? All students will keep their devices at home for the duration of the school year. In the event that we return on a hybrid schedule, the students who will be coming on Tuesday and Wednesday will then bring their device to school to use in the building and then take home for the remainder 3 days of the week. Similarly, students on Schedule B will come to the building on Thursday and Friday and will also bring their device. So again, that would only happen if and when we return to the hybrid. But in the meantime, we will remain in a virtual remote situation, and all students will have a Stafford County issued Chromebook. Will the Chromebooks have parental controls and security measures? All Stafford County devices have been set up so that there are security locks to ensure protection against any inappropriate content or websites. What if the Chromebook gets damaged? The first thing you would need to do if your child's Chromebook gets damaged or is no longer functioning properly, you would contact us here at the school. Also, later on in these slides, I will give you 3 different options, 3 different contacts for you to use via email or phone numbers to get support with all technology, including internet, as well as what to do if your Chromebook gets damaged so that we know and we can have it repaired or issue you a new one. Do we have to use the Chromebook issued by the school instead of our personal devices or electronics? While you are certainly welcome to use your personal devices and electronics because you should be able to access everything you need for our virtual learning experiences with them, we do highly encourage you to use our Stafford County issued Chromebooks. That way you can make sure that your Chromebook has been updated with the most recent updates, as well as make sure that your device does have those security measures in place that we set forth from our technology department. The next category of questions is virtual learning. What does virtual learning look like? Platform used, screen time versus non-screen time, and how many hours a day? This is a great question. So in the synchronous days, 2 days a week, Again, if your child is on A schedule, your synchronous days would be Tuesday, Wednesday. If your child's a B schedule, those days would be Thursday, Friday. So in your synchronous days, your child would log in no later than 9 o'clock in the morning. So at 9 o'clock, your child's instructional day begins with a short morning meeting where he will see approximately 10 to 12 of her peers and have their teacher directly facilitating, much like I'm doing now, only in a live in sync situation. Screen time, while 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock seems like a very long time for screen time, as a parent myself, I feel the same way. We are working very hard to provide a maximum number of breaks for the children to take their eyes off the screen, to have a break, to have some movement breaks, but also to have some reading, some writing, and some actual paper pencil work for them to do during the course of that time. Again, how many hours a day? Again, on our synchronous schedule, 2 days a week, all students will have synchronous learning experiences with their teacher from 9 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. There is a 45-minute lunch break built into that. Well, they will be able to excuse themselves from the computer screen, muting their cameras, muting their mics, and then going off to have some exercise and grab some lunch, and then come back with their teacher in class. Again, those are on their synchronous days. Here's an example of a grade level schedule that, as you see, starts at 9 o'clock in the morning and ends at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And as you notice, this would be an example of a grade level with teacher 1, teacher 2, teacher 3, etc., having different specials for different times of the day. That is to ensure that we break up the day across the grade level to maximize our paraprofessional support, and including our special services such as special education, 504s, and focus. As you can see, it begins with a 15-minute morning meeting. At 11:30, we have all students at Rocky Run breaking for lunch at 11:30 until 12:15, and then they'll come back on for about 90 minutes prior to dismissal, where they'll close out, have a closing opportunity before dismissal. I do want to call your attention to the 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock time frame. Our teachers, once the students are finished with their instructional day, our teachers' work does not end. They will continue collaborating with their teammates, designing lessons, troubleshooting for the next day, as well as providing families and students office hours, where they will be providing a predictable window of availability to help students or parents troubleshoot things, go over any necessary content that may have been a challenge for that day. So that's the window of time that teachers will be sharing with you what block of time during that 2-hour window they would be available. On the 3 days of the student's asynchronous day, these are the days that they would not be receiving synchronous with my teacher instruction from their device. This is a sample of what the day could look like. Notice the only specific time I provided on this would be 9 o'clock, when, even though your child might be on their own day or asynchronous day, they are still invited to participate in their teacher's morning meeting as a way to kick off their day and on a positive note. After the morning meeting on those 3 days, they would then log off, and then they can log back onto their Canvas, where they will have access to uploaded videos, visuals, and posted assignments. And these are just the suggested amount of time that the children would engage in each of the subjects. As you can see, if you add up all the times, it's significantly reduced on these 3 asynchronous days compared to the 9 to 2 block of time on their synchronous or with my teachers days, but this is just enough to keep them reviewing the content and prepping them for the next uh, days with their teacher. For working parents, can the live lessons be done in the evening when a parent is available to help students? Will daycare assist with the virtual work? To answer the first question about parents and having them available in the evenings, unfortunately, if your child misses their asynchronous time, their asynchronous with my teacher learning experiences from that 9 to 2 on their 2 assigned days, uh, there is no live recording, there is no live stream, there's no recording of the instructional day to revisit. Uh, Much like if a child is in a regular year, if a child is sick or not available and not here at school, they miss the live instruction. However, they will still have around the clock access to their Canvas platform. They will be able to access the videos that have been uploaded for them and any assignments written or otherwise, so that they can engage that way. We highly encourage all parents, of course, to interact with their child and to support them in this. But again, if they miss the 2 days of synchronous learning experiences with their teacher, there won't be a way to revisit and hear that teacher's instructions, but they can still remain engaged throughout the week, to include their asynchronous days. And the daycare, Stafford County has worked very hard to connect with all of our local daycare providers to ensure that their staff is tooled with the skills and the knowledge and able to support those students who are under their care throughout the day, regardless of whether that's their synchronous day or asynchronous day. Will virtual hours be the same as hybrid hours? The answer to that is yes, especially when we're talking about those synchronous days, when we're talking about those days when the students will be with their teacher. Right now, we know that we are all beginning virtually. So, for example, students on Schedule A will have their school day look like a 9 o'clock start and a 2 o'clock finish on their synchronous days, which are Tuesday and Wednesday for Schedule A. In the event that we return hybrid, no matter when that would be, those students will also have a 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock school day on their synchronous days. Again, for Schedule A would be Tuesday and Wednesday. But instead of it being at home on their device, they would be brought to the actual school, brick and mortar, where they would receive their synchronous instruction face to face with their teacher in the classroom and with their Schedule A peers. How will attendance be taken? Attendance is a very important factor in all of this for a number of reasons from the school and the division level. But we will be able to take attendance the same way we have previously in our Synergy student database. But we're also going to be considering students who are at least being engaged in the work, should they miss some of their or all of their synchronous learning opportunities on a given day. We want to make sure that our students are engaged in the work, completing some of the assignments on their asynchronous days, so when they're on their own, but on the 2 days that they are virtually with their teacher, if they missed that day, but if they were able to show that they were engaged, there will be some credit given for their attendance as well. We are still working with the division and getting clarification on exactly how much engagement constitutes being present for the day versus not being present. But there will be some flexibility there and some understanding where students will be counted as present as we take attendance through their participation online and engaging in their work. How does makeup work look if a student is sick on live teaching days? Another great question. Much like we would do on in a regular school year when the students are coming each day and working with a classroom teacher, when they are sick and they have to stay home because they're not feeling well, while they miss their direct instruction, uh, we provide them with uh, the makeup work, and in a virtual sense, all that makeup work is already posted online in the Canvas platform, so they can access that. So while they may have missed their synchronous day of learning on the computer, they're still able to go in and access the videos and engage in the assignments, both the assignments on the device and any paper or pencil assignments that have been posted by their teacher. Will paper copies be made available of any worksheets? Um, Again, a little bit more information coming in a future slide about next week's distribution of devices and materials. All students will be uh, uh, issued consumable workbooks that they will be able to use, as well as literacy and mathematics printables that they can use both with their teacher in their synchronous days and asynchronously when they are on their own. So while we will be providing anything that is required and needed of the students as far as paper copies, we're also going to continue to commit to the virtual learning experience, because so much of what the students will be using in their learning will be uh, in the way of things being posted on Canvas, videos, synchronous time with teachers, um, and other things that have been uploaded for them to access as resources. What school supplies will be needed for the virtual learning environment, and will my child need headphones with a microphone? I shared a little bit about materials on the previous slide, and uh, next week, when we have our device and material distribution, all students will be issued a Stafford County Chromebook, along with some workbooks, some consumable workbooks, as well as some printed material that we've made copies of to get the students through the next few weeks of school. Um, we certainly envision there needing to be more distribution uh, events to provide updated materials as we get through the weeks. But of course, that all depends on if and when we return for a hybrid learning experience. Um, Headphones on your Chromebooks. Headphones are certainly encouraged. It would certainly help the students attend and be less distracted if they can focus on what they're hearing, especially when they are with their teacher on those asynchronous days. Um, all of our Chromebooks are already outfitted with a microphone, so the headphones with the attached microphone is not necessarily what we call them the gaming headphones. Those aren't necessary because the Chromebooks themselves do have a microphone for the students to mute themselves, unmute themselves, and participate and engage and speak to their classmates and teacher. So again, headphones are encouraged, but not necessary for engagement. Will my children be on the same A and B schedule? The answer to that is yes. We've worked very hard at the school level and to coincide with middle school, high school schedules, as well as a lot of help from our division support staff who have been able to match up siblings, and not only siblings, but children who are coming from the same home address, to match them up for the sake of transportation if and when we do return hybrid, to have them all on the same A and B schedule. So all siblings and all children in a household should be on the same A or same B schedule. Will I be able to choose to keep my child virtual all year, even if and when Stafford County Schools moves into the hybrid plan? Again, the answer to that is yes. If and when we move to a hybrid plan and begin inviting our students in 2 days a week on their synchronous days to receive face-to-face learning in the actual school building, brick and mortar, with their teacher and some of their classmates, families will continue to have the option to stay virtual and remain at home. In which case, they will have their teacher's instruction continue to be on their synchronous days. How have teachers been preparing for virtual learning? We've been very grateful for the past 2 weeks, and we have one more week to go of our teacher work week. And in addition to the countless hours of technology training and professional development that our teachers and teams have been engaging in and participating in, they're also, when they're not in their trainings, they're also spending hours collaborating with their teams, designing units to post on Canvas, designing lesson plans that will be appropriate for the first 2 weeks, as well as follow a very detailed and updated pacing guide for curriculum. So while this is new to all of us, I'm very proud of our staff for the amount of learning that they've experienced in the last 9 days of their return to work weeks. And I look forward to the superior instruction that's going to happen through virtual means and meeting the students where they are. What do parents do if they have poor internet connection or no internet connection on live teaching days? We very much appreciate this question because, as we all know, we will have our days when the internet connection in your home may be spotty. In that situation, it's very important to notify your teacher as soon as you can to let them know that your child has missed some of the synchronous learning opportunities of the day, or if they're on an asynchronous day and you can't access the virtual platform there to also let the teacher know. Again, later on in the slides, I will share more information about who to reach out to and how you can get some technology support when it comes to internet connection. Again, we do have a limited number, but we do have some what they're called Kajits. They're internet hotspots that we're able to provide to families who really have challenging or no internet connection, so that their child can connect with their Stafford County device. The next category of questions is about specials. What will my encore or specials look like during virtual? So referring back to my schedule that I shared, every teacher in every grade level will have 30 minutes of the specials time set in the schedule on their synchronous days. Again, so if you are a Schedule B student, you will have specials on Thursday and Friday, which are your synchronous or with my teacher days. During that time, the specials teacher, the library teacher, the art teacher, the PE teachers, computer lab, music, they will join your child's teacher's meeting, and they will take over as facilitator and then provide that 30 minutes of instruction for those 2 days on in the specials. Will students be able to check out library books and take AR tests on them, and how will this be done? While there's no plan to afford the students opportunities to physically check out our Rocky Run library books, All students will be trained uh, in the online library card catalog, which they will be able to reserve and access uh, virtual books. They will also have access to AR. So many of those books, of course, continue to be AR, and they will be able to access their AR in their library canvas as well. If and when we return to a hybrid learning environment where students are coming to school twice a week for face-to-face instruction, we will certainly have more opportunities for them to access our library books here from school. The next category of questions is in regards to special education and gifted services. Will all IEP 504 services be offered virtually? And the answer to that is yes. All special education IEPs, all 504 plans are currently in the process of being reviewed and amended to ensure that we maximize the opportunities for students to work towards their specific goals. And case managers and plan managers will work closely with our general education teachers and teams, and will also be able to be accessible through the synchronous days of learning for both whole group instruction and some small group instruction. And so more information will be coming from your general education teacher and or your case and plan managers. How will special education look virtually? Again, in collaboration with the general education teacher, the special education teachers or the case managers and plan managers will design lessons that are using some co-teaching opportunities, but also will have in their schedule opportunities for some small group instruction for their caseload of students. And this also includes some support on their asynchronous days or their on their own days as well. If my child has an IEP and chooses to remain virtual instead of hybrid, will their services continue virtual? That the answer to that is yes. If your child currently receives special education services and we return to the hybrid model, and students are invited 2 days a week face to face in the building, brick and mortar, and your child remains at home on the virtual option, we will continue to provide special education services that is tailored to their IEP goals. Will focus services still be offered, and what will this look like? Much like our special education and 504 plans, our focus services, our focus teacher will work directly with grade levels and general education teachers to provide reinforcements to lessons, but also provide options for some small group pullout to provide instruction based upon their services and their service plans. And this support will also be extended into the asynchronous days or the on my own days. So more information to come from our focus teacher on that. The next questions are on the topic of virtual orientation. When will we get to meet the teacher? Typically, we've always held a face-to-face in-person open house where students and families come into the building, meet their teacher, drop off their supplies, stop by the PTO table, add money to their lunch account. So unfortunately, due to the circumstances, there will be no in-person face-to-face open house this year. However, alternatively, beginning next week, that would be the week of August 24th and running through August 28th, we will be having teachers reach out and making contacts to all of their students and families in their classroom. So, in addition to hearing from your teacher via phone call, our teachers will also be inviting their families and their students to participate in their own classroom Google Meet before the end of the week, where you will be able to virtually, synchronously, face to face, see your teacher in the Google Meet in the presentation, and they will be able to share their screen, talk a little bit more about their daily schedules, and provide more information that is detailed to their specific classroom and to your child's schedule. When will students and parents get oriented to the virtual platform? Orienting and training, so to speak, our parents, families, and students on the virtual platforms is it's a big undertaking, and we take it very seriously. And we're very grateful for our Stafford County Public Schools at the division level that is currently, as we speak, creating family-friendly and student-friendly videos and training modules for you to get acquainted for the online platform of Canvas. And once we get those in our hands and those videos and trainings are completed, we will get them out to you as soon as possible. Again, much of that will be happening next week prior to the start of school. Will students new to the school be able to visit the school before we return in hybrid? The answer to that is absolutely. In fact, if and when we do return to hybrid, whenever that might be, we will, of course, offer a number of opportunities to have in-person open houses so that you can come in, see your teacher face to face, bring any materials that you need to school, see the setup of the classrooms, how everything is being run in a very safe and safe manner to ensure social distancing, how to enter and exit the building, to see the signs, to see the hand sanitation stations. So all of those things will be afforded to all of our families, not just our new, but all of our families in the event that we do return hybrid. We will schedule those and space those out to ensure that we're still within capacity of people in the building. And finally, some miscellaneous questions. Are disposable masks permitted or just cloth masks? Yes, disposable masks are certainly appropriate as long as cloth masks. We did add those to our supply lists. Again, this would be important if we do return hybrid or if any children are invited back into the building at any time, as all students and all staff members in the building are required to wear masks when we're working with each other. So disposable and cloth masks are appropriate. What is the best way parents can support teachers during this time? I have to say, I don't know who sent this question, but I want to thank you for asking this question, because I know that we are all, as parents, as administrators, even as colleague teachers, we're asking ourselves the same thing. So for supporting our teachers, I would just start off by saying, this is very new to all of us. This is uncharted waters, unknown. Things are changing daily, and there has been a lot of intense learning to be able to navigate this virtual, the virtualness of our teaching and learning experiences. So the first thing that we can do is just give grace. Give grace to your teacher. We know there's going to be some tech problems along the way. We know there's going to be challenges in communication, whether there be too much communication or not enough. So all of those things, as we navigate this new way of teaching and learning and serving our students and our families, just giving the grace and having flexibility and understanding. And again, another great way is just to let them know that you're available and you're certainly helping your child at home. Well, we can't do this without you. This is an absolute perfect example that this is a true partnership, and we want to make sure that that partnership is founded on respect and trust, and just knowing that we all have the same thing in common, and that is doing the very best we can for our Bulldogs. As mentioned previously, earlier on in this presentation, I'd like to take an opportunity to share with you some Chromebook and material distribution times. So starting next week, the week of August 24th, we have 4 straight days where we'll be here at Rocky Run from the hours of 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. And each day has a different group of students who are scheduled to come in and pick up their devices and materials. Beginning on Monday, August 24th, we are calling it Sibling Day. So if you have children who are siblings, you have a first grader and a third grader, or you have twin kindergartners and a fifth grade child, that is your day to come in. Any family with more than one Rocky Run student is welcome and encouraged to come in on that day from between the hours of 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. to pick up their device, their Chromebook, and their workbooks and packets of papers that we've copied, and gather their mathematics manipulatives and materials. Tuesday is for kindergarten and first grade students. Wednesday is for second and third grade students. And Thursday, August 27th, is for fourth and fifth grade students. All of those times being from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Also referenced earlier in the presentation, we have our technology support contact information. During the days and weeks ahead, if you have any issue with your devices, logging on, things aren't functioning properly, you have internet contact issues, there are a couple ways that we can help you rectify those and get you the support that you need. So for starting off with help desk, there's a help desk email right there, helpdesk@staffordschools.net, and you can share your concern or issue with them. There's also a number that you can call that is a Stafford County Public Schools help desk number. You may be able to speak with a live voice on the other end, or leave a message and with your contact information for somebody to reach back out to you. Also, our computer technician, our CT here at Rocky Run, Mrs. Allison Kermsey, she has been doing a dynamic job with inventories, making sure our devices are up and running, making sure they have all the appropriate updates, and also working with families to ensure that they have their internet connections going well, and if there are any Khajiits that need to be issued, or troubleshooting with devices, she is a wealth of information and is here for you as well. And I've included her email there as well. And again, I will once we post this video tonight at 6 o'clock, we will also be sending out an email to post the link for the presentation, as well as share this particular presentation with you, so you will have access to all of the some of these slides that have more detailed information. That does conclude our town hall presentation for today. Again, I want to thank you for your time today. Time seems to be, it always is our most precious commodity, so I never take for granted when I have your time as a captive audience. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that brought some clarification to some things. I hope it answered some of your questions. And I'm sure that there are probably other questions or concerns that are specific to you, maybe that we didn't cover. If that's the case, please don't hesitate. Reach out to us, call the school. I've provided my information, as well as our 2 new assistant principals, Mrs. Robin Lloyd and Miss Allie Ward. They are here to serve you as well. So there are our email addresses, and you can reach out to us anytime. Again, I'm Nick Roman, the principal at Rocky Run, signing off today. Again, thank you for your attention to this. Thank you for your time and viewing this. Thank you for your support and supporting our Bulldogs in this very new way of teaching and learning. And we absolutely cannot wait until the day comes where we can all be together again in school. Until then, please stay well, stay positive, and we will see you and talk to you very soon. Take care.